Friday. Said yesterday I'd make this video. I think last week I even said I'd make this video. So, and obviously the title says what this video is. So redundant these days. It's the autism kicking in. I gotta make sure everything's good and ready to go. So, what advice have I got to give for people that come overseas to play a sport? So, first of all, it's mostly just sort of living overseas. I play football. I watch Silas Nicita. He plays football. He actually had a video today about having a run-in with the Italian police because he's in Florence, and so he has issues. And so that he had an issue that I haven't really had because of the blessings of the Netherlands. The police didn't actually speak much English, and he doesn't speak much Italian. So he had to call some teammates or people within the office area to help translate. Then that was fun to watch, especially with his wife. I got a ticket. No, she was giving. I'm getting a little off topic here, but that's one of the things that I know a lot of international players have to deal with is a language barrier. I don't, and that's weird to say that I'm in a whole different country with a different language and different currency and not necessarily different traffic laws because they still drive on the right, like many countries do. And like I said, that's the blessing in the Netherlands because so many people around here speak English. Like, there was, when I'm walking to practice and I'm going down that little pathway in between Kerkelandelaan and the Hilversum, the sports complex where my team is located, I've seen older people walking their dogs. And they'll say something to me, and I usually just say, if they'll say something, I'll just very pretty dog. And then they'll immediately speak English to me. And it's a weird dissonance, I think is the term, because you'd think that the older generation wouldn't be good at speaking English. And that the modernization, the world globalization, that kind of centers around the Netherlands would be, I say that weirdly because the EU is centered around Brussels, which is in Belgium, which is right over there. Over there. The way we're facing, Belgium is that way. But the Netherlands has been a trade hub for a long time. I know that as Silas had with an issue, the police didn't speak it, but some of the coffee shop people do. Many guys on his team does. And if you are one that goes overseas to play for football as an actual import player, your team is probably going to speak a fair bit of English. Just because the nature of football deals with English. You can probably watch the Super Bowl, but if you don't really understand English, you're not going to get what they mean by the plays on the announcer. You're not going to understand play by. To be fair, they speed by. And so that's in and of itself. I've noticed some people in some of Silas's German videos, he'll say something and they almost have to do a little mental Rubik's Cube to switch over to English. And they're like, blah, 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 and he'll say something and they'll go, it's not frustration, but they have to like that, just real quick. Our receiver coach, he'll be talking to the DB coach and a couple other guys, or he'll be talking to Marcus, and he'll be doing Dutch, and then I'll notice that lull in the conversation, and I'll ask something about the Crusaders or the Groningen, and he'll just immediately turn over he's definitely got a Dutch accent. It's strange how easily they switch over, and I'm in actual awe of it, and I wish I could do that. I saw one of our linebackers was looking at me yesterday, kind of funny, because our linebacker coach was talking in Dutch about one of the other quarterbacks on another team, and I was laughing because between pantomime and basic words, I was getting the idea. I mean, I know kleine, I know grote. I get it. I don't have to understand every single word. You know, part of the idea behind memes is you only need to know a couple words or just one word, and plus the pantomime. Anyways, getting a little off topic here. The language is the big deal, and not a lot of things are going to be like road signs. Your teammates speak it, and occasionally maybe the referee might speak it, but your road signs aren't going to be in English. The menu at your restaurant's maybe not going to be in English. Silas is in Florence, so probably they have an English side of the menu. But then again, coffee is coffee. I take that back. Coffee is coffee, but not coffee. Yeah, had to spin that one around. You guys are great at English, but you guys still have kind of an Americano when it comes to coffee. And that's the next thing, food. So, as Americans, we're used to just an absolute abundance of amounts of food. It's just all over the place. I'm not saying that, like here in the Netherlands, which I'm using as a lot of reference because I haven't really been around Europe much, there is food, but not in the quantities. Their largest grocery store, there was a Albert Heijn XL, I think out in Leiden that Aaron and I walked past on the way to the game back in December. And I was like, oh wow, it has a parking garage on top of it. And it didn't really look that big. I mean, when I think of XL, I'm thinking something the size of my neighborhood. Not, takes up a second store. There's another Albert Heijn that's actually further in downtown that Aaron and I went to, and it's big. But it's nothing like when I went to France. That one was like, I walked in, I was like, oh my God, I'm home. Just aisles of food. And like you could tell it was this total shift. We got 5 guys. We got off the bus. We went in. We went over to the supermarket. And we're all like, ha. 4 Dutch guys. Me. Just 5 guys walking across the street, and then all of a sudden, one of them super happy. The other 4 are like, what is this? They got lost. A few of them got lost. They're like, where do we go here? Where do we go here? I'm like, we go here. I'm just like, I'm swooping around, but I was sniping things. It's just like because their aisles were a little bit weird, but it's still like that was a store to me. Albert Heijn's got 5 aisles, 2 small sections, so 10. It's just that's the size of an Albert Heijn, though. That's the size of a supermarket. So there's food, but there's not a lot of food. And usually when you go to a restaurant, you're going to get something that seems not quite price-wise. Once you're there long enough, you kind of understand, and you tend to take certain currency levels for granted. It's still great to budget. Please budget. I know a lot of y'all import players are not going to be getting a lot of money. I still, I don't get a lot of money. I don't get millions of dollars from YouTube, so I try to budget a little bit. But here's a single euro for those Americans that have never seen one before. It seems like this is not quite, but close to equivalent to $1. The current conversion rate, this thing is worth $1.13. So, at this point, I wouldn't. Back in the States, I would still try to look for things around $1. But around here, in order to get the kind of food I'm looking for, I'm not butthurt by 2 or 3. I just don't eat that much. That makes any sense. Obviously I'm spending more money, but my Kostbroodje in the morning is €3.90, €3.90. So that's 2 of them for €3.90. That's €4 for 2, but that is my breakfast. $4 for breakfast. Yeah, and then I eat stuff here at the house. I get also sometimes a loaf of bread from the bakery and make a sandwich. So that's that. I will catch you guys next week. Let's see, we are on the 15th today. That puts my next video right before our first game. So yeah, that's cool. I'll probably have something about that one. It's an away game in Utrecht. Utrecht Dominators. So yeah. If we have any film on that one, I may chitty chat about it. See what I think of their team. Have a game hype video. Alright.